Today our topic is the Stoic response to stress. Life is full of challenges, and stress is something everyone faces. But how we deal with stress makes all the difference. The Stoics, ancient philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, had a lot to say about how to handle stress. Their ideas are still useful today because they teach us how to stay calm, focused, and in control, even when things are tough. Let's explore how Stoicism can help us deal with stress in a better way. First, it's important to understand what stress is. Stress happens when we feel like we can't handle what's happening in our lives. It could be work, relationships, money problems, or even something as simple as being stuck in traffic. The Stoics believe that stress doesn't come from the events themselves, but from how we think about those events. For example, if you lose your job, you might feel stressed because you think, this is the worst thing that could happen. But the Stoics would say, it's not the job loss that's causing your stress. It's your belief that losing your job is bad. This is a key idea in Stoicism. We can't control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we react to it. One of the main tools the Stoics use to deal with stress is something called the dichotomy of control. This means dividing things into two categories: things we can control and things we can't. For example, you can't control the weather, but you can control whether you carry an umbrella. You can't control what other people say or do, but you can control how you respond to them. When you focus on what you can control, you feel less stressed because you're not wasting energy on things you can't change. This is a simple but powerful idea. When you feel stressed, ask yourself, is this something I can control? If the answer is no, let it go. If the answer is yes, take action. Another Stoic idea that helps with stress is Amor fati, which means love of fate. This means accepting whatever happens in life, good or bad, and seeing it as an opportunity to grow. For example, if you fail at something, instead of feeling stressed or upset, you can say, this is a chance for me to learn and improve. The Stoics believe that everything happens for a reason, and even bad things can have a purpose. When you accept life as it is, you stop fighting against it, and that reduces stress. This doesn't mean you should be passive or give up. It means you should focus on what you can do, rather than worrying about what you can't. The Stoics also believed in the importance of perspective. When something stressful happens, they would ask, will this matter in a week, a month, or a year? Often, we get stressed about small things that won't matter in the long run. For example, if someone cuts you off in traffic, you might feel angry and stressed. But if you think about it, will that moment matter tomorrow? Probably not. By keeping things in perspective, you can avoid getting stressed over small problems. The Stoics also practice something called Premeditatio malorum, which means the premeditation of evils. This sounds negative, but it's actually a way to prepare for stress. The idea is to imagine the worst-case scenario and think about how you would handle it. For example, if you're worried about losing your job, imagine what you would do if it happened. Would you look for a new job? Would you cut back on expenses? By planning ahead, you feel more prepared and less stressed. Another Stoic practice that helps with stress is mindfulness. Mindfulness means being fully present in the moment and paying attention to what's happening right now. The Stoics believe that most stress comes from worrying about the future or regretting the past. When you focus on the present, you let go of those worries and feel more peaceful. For example, if you're stressed about a deadline, instead of thinking about how much work you have to do, focus on the task in front of you. Take it one step at a time. This helps you stay calm and productive. The Stoics also believed in the power of gratitude. When you feel stressed, it's easy to focus on what's going wrong. But the Stoics would remind you to think about what's going right. For example, if you're stressed about work, take a moment to be grateful that you have a job. If you're stressed about your health, be grateful for the parts of your body that are working well. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's right, and that reduces stress. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote in his journal every night about the things he was grateful for. This simple practice helped him stay grounded and positive, even during difficult times. Another important Stoic idea is to focus on virtue. The Stoics believe that the most important thing in life is to be a good person. This means being honest, kind, brave, and wise. When you focus on being virtuous, you feel less stressed because you're not worried about things like money, fame, or power. The Stoics believe that these things are outside our control and don't bring true happiness. Instead, they focused on being the best version of themselves. For example, if you're stressed about a difficult situation at work, ask yourself, what would a wise and brave person do in this situation? This helps you make better decisions and feel more in control. The Stoics also believed in the importance of self-discipline. When you have self-discipline, you can resist temptations and stay focused on your goals. This reduces stress because you're not constantly battling with yourself. For example, if you're stressed about your health, self-discipline can help you stick to a healthy diet and exercise routine. If you're stressed about work, self-discipline can help you stay organized and meet deadlines. The Stoics believe that self-discipline is a form of freedom because it allows you to live according to your values, not your impulses. Finally, the Stoics believed in the importance of community. They believed that we are all connected and that helping others is one of the best ways to reduce stress. When you focus on helping others, you stop thinking about your own problems and feel a sense of purpose. For example, if you're stressed about your own life, try volunteering or helping a friend in need. This not only reduces your stress but also strengthens your relationships and makes the world a better place. In conclusion, the Stoic response to stress is about focusing on what you can control, accepting what you can't, and finding peace in the present moment. It's about being grateful, virtuous, and disciplined. It's about keeping things in perspective and helping others. These ideas are simple, but they're not always easy to follow. It takes practice to think like a Stoic, but the more you practice, the better you'll get. Remember, stress is a part of life, but it doesn't have to control you. By using the tools of Stoicism, you can stay calm, focused, and in control, no matter what life throws at you. So the next time you feel stressed, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what would a Stoic do? The answer might just change your life.